about the stories that impact you. You're watching the Megacast on Civic Center TV.
There are many different kinds of noses. Our noses can sniff out all kinds of things. Good things and bad things. Your nose knows if those sniffles are just a cold, allergies, or COVID-19. So swab it. Test it. It's good to know.
I'm Steve Eiserman of the Detroit Red Wings, and I think every child in Michigan deserves a safe, healthy, and happy childhood. Can we build a state where Children Trust Michigan isn't just a name, but something our kids believe? Please support Children Trust Michigan as the voice for children and families by visiting the website to learn more.
You're listening to your radio homes for the Megacast, 89.3 WBLD Orchard Lake and 88.1 WBFH Bloomfield Hills. Today's edition of the Megacast begins now. Welcome to the Megacast, our live daily TV, radio, and streaming show talking about all things Oakland County and the state of Michigan. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft. You can find all the information you need to know about the Megacast, including all of our partnering stations here in Oakland County and all throughout the state, by visiting civiccentertv.com/Megacast. As I said, we have links to every single one of our partnering stations, including community television and radio outlets right here in Oakland County in all different areas of Oakland County, whether you're here in the Lakes area and the greater West Bloomfield area. Civic Center TV is our flagship. We also have the media network of Waterford joining us today, as well as live to tape on Birmingham area municipal access and live on 88.1 The Biff out of Bloomfield Hills. In addition, we're live to tape in northern Oakland County on Orion Neighborhood Television, or ONTV, in the afternoons and evenings up in Lake Orion and Orion Township, where living is, of course, known as a vacation. So you can find us all throughout the Oakland County area and statewide for free on My Michigan TV, along with all their other exciting and original and other imported programming as well from across the state of Michigan by clicking on those links at civiccentertv.com/Megacast. In addition, that's where you'll find us on demand and find all of our full episodes and each individual segment. So whether you have a full hour to join us each and every day, 5 hours a week of our programming here on the Megacast, or you just want to watch specific segments that are of interest to you or are of interest to your local area here in Oakland County, your hyper-local area, you can find all of that content on our website, civiccentertv.com/Megacast. Also, a great resource to find on our website is our local news page. Just click on local news on civiccentertv.com, and there you'll find our top stories making headlines each and every day. Today, our top story comes out of Southfield from the Oakland Press's Ann Runkle. Access to technology is about to get a lot easier for residents of the city of Southfield, as the Southfield Public Library has announced that they will now be providing rentals and checkouts of Chromebooks and Wi-Fi hotspots to residents with library cards that are in good standing. Residents can begin checking out these different devices either at the library on the third floor of the building on Evergreen Road by using one of their computer assistants on site, or by simply calling the Southfield Public Library at 248-796-4358. 248-796-4358. It's a big step forward for the library providing its services to the public, said Kenny Landa, the technology coordinator at the Southfield Public Library, who told the Oakland Press, quote, "The Chromebook is a laptop computer that is very easy to use and is a fantastic tool for anyone. It can access the internet, and there are useful apps and programs on the Chromebook as well. It's great for almost everything you would use a PC or a Mac for, and is an excellent laptop for students doing online homework, taking online classes, or otherwise working on their education online, because it's lightweight, has a long battery life, and can be taken anywhere. It's very portable," and closed quote. The program was funded by the Friends of the Southfield Public Library, and these resources are available through the Southfield Public Library for Southfield residents at this time. Really important, because while we have while in today's age, so many people are able to access technology, access the web easily, that's not the case in every area of the state of Michigan, and not even in every area of Oakland County. So whether you are in Southfield, or you're in the Lakes area, or you're in northern Oakland County, oftentimes the closest resource to you to be able to access the internet at all, or find resources to help you access the internet and access technology like computers, is at your local public library. So Southfield joining that and joining in on that, providing these resources, Chromebooks and Wi-Fi hotspots for those that may have the technology but not have access to the internet. Now they can get on the internet, they can pay their bills, they can apply for jobs, as was mentioned in this article from Ann Runkle at the Oakland Press. They can work on their schoolwork, get their education online. This becomes such an important resource for people that maybe have struggled with access to technology and access to the internet, or may have one or the other, but be in need of putting those into combination in order to access things that we take for granted today. Being able to pay our bills online, being able to read the news, being able to watch a show like the Megacast every single day from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. or on the web to keep up to date on what's going on in your local community. These are all things that are important, and all things that tend to be facilitated nowadays on the internet. So providing this access, really helpful. I would encourage you, go to our website on our local news page, civiccentertv.com, and click through to read this article from the Oakland Press. And definitely, if you have friends in Southfield, or you yourself are in Southfield, maybe driving through and listening on one of our radio stations and need access to some of this technology, again, you can access this for residents of Southfield who have a library card in good standing, have the ability to check out Chromebooks as well as Wi-Fi hotspots through the Southfield Public Library, either on the third floor of the building located on Evergreen Road, or you can call them 248-796-4358. 248-796-4358. All this information is also listed in this article. Also making headlines today on our local news page from the Detroit Free Press's Eric D. Lawrence. An empty lot in Auburn Hills will soon be home to the next generation of automotive technology, as UL Solutions broke ground on a new 89,000 square foot electric vehicle battery plant and testing facility, where industrial batteries are also planned to be produced right here in Michigan. It was a star-studded unveiling with state leaders such as Governor Gretchen Whitmer, U.S. Senator Debbie Stabenow, and U.S. Representative Haley Stevens in attendance to commemorate the occasion. The Auburn Hills site had plenty of competition in acquiring the plant, beating out locations in Indiana and Ohio to be named the new home of this $70 million plus project, coming right here to Oakland County. Not just the state of Michigan, but right to the place where we're originating our broadcast in Oakland County, in the northern part of Oakland County. In addition to millions of dollars being invested right here in Oakland County, 61 jobs are expected to be brought to the area as a result of this plant. Incentives played a huge role in the acquisition as well, with upwards of $1.6 million in state incentives, depending on the outcome of the facility as part of this deal. Said Governor Whitmer on outlasting the competition for the plant from nearby states in the Midwest. Quote, Michigan won this investment over several other states because of our strong workforce and our proximity to leading battery and automotive manufacturing. So look, whether you are in support of electric vehicles or not, it is the way that this industry seems to be going for the future. Looking to the future, the U.S. government, the Department of Transportation, automotive dealers themselves, the big three here in the state of Michigan, and international dealers as well, are looking to the future, with the future being electric vehicles. And so production of technology for those vehicles is going to be extremely lucrative. It's going to be big in building economies and maintaining an automotive-based economy like we've had here in Oakland County and here in the state of Michigan for a number of decades, for over 100 years at this point. Continuing to have Michigan be the state where automobile technology is advanced and becomes the future. Right here in Michigan, that's going to be happening. One of many facilities coming to the state of Michigan will be right in Auburn Hills in northern Oakland County, as this new 89,000 square foot electric vehicle battery plant from UL Solutions heading to Auburn Hills. That full article from the Detroit Free Press detailing all of this information can be found on our website on civiccentertv.com. Just click on our local news link. Additionally, making news today on our local news page from Justin P. Hicks at MLive. We talked yesterday about discussions for improvements on our passenger rails between railroad associations in the state of Michigan and state leadership, and even talking about how much enthusiasm there is for those improvements from Democratic leaders and the majorities in our House and our Senate, as well as from the governor's office in the executive branch. And soon, those goals are going to be in part get underway right here in Michigan, with not without a few obstructions along the way. There will be one fewer weekday travel option from Michigan to the city of Chicago in Illinois, as Amtrak suspends its Monday through Thursday route from Pontiac to the Windy City, otherwise known as the Wolverine route, temporarily as they service the rail line between Pontiac, Detroit, and Chicago. This will now only run through on Friday and through the weekend during 2 months of repairs, with full operations expected to return in early October after this project begins in late July. Currently, the schedule is July 31st is when this route will shut down, at least for the majority of the week. Again, Monday through Thursday, there will be no Wolverine routes between the Amtrak station in Pontiac and Chicago, Illinois, for about 2 months between July 31st and the early portions of October. Those routes will continue, however, on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So there still is going to be a route between Pontiac and Chicago directly, but it's going to be more limited throughout your week as they're repairing these rails. Some of these rails have been in need of repairs for a number of years or a number of decades, and while they haven't necessarily been critical repairs that are needed, they're touch-ups that are going to improve the safety and improve the quality of these rail lines, and these passenger rail lines between two major metropolitan areas, of course being the Detroit metro area and the Windy City in Chicago, Illinois. Again, this project going to be beginning on July 31st. That's expected start date and will run through early October. However, despite the Wolverine route being cut off during the majority of the week, there will still continue to be a direct route all throughout the week from Michigan to Chicago, this time from Port Huron instead to Chicago, which is known as the Blue Water route. That will run in normal operations and in full operations under its current schedule now and all the way through that project affecting the Wolverine route. So you'll still be able to get to Chicago via train. You may just have to travel a little bit further north in the state of Michigan and take the Amtrak train out of Port Huron, or you're going to have to schedule going between Detroit and Chicago, between Pontiac and Chicago around your weekends. So if you are going to plan to go there and you want to stay in our local area to originate that travel between Pontiac and Chicago, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are going to be the only days you'll be able to do that with a direct route from Pontiac to Chicago and from Chicago back to Pontiac. Otherwise, you may have to plan your trip around going to other parts of Michigan on the terminal and coming back into town, or on the output going toward Chicago, somewhere like Port Huron, or on the western side of the state. Other routes like the Pierre Marquette route that goes from Grand Rapids to Chicago is another one that's going to, at least as of now, will remain in full operations. To see an updated schedule and how these changes may affect your travel by passenger rail this summer, you can visit Amtrak's website at amtrak.com. Another great place to go is our local news page on civiccentertv.com. Just click on local news, where you'll find more information on this project and exactly how this is going to fit into summer travel by passenger rail. A popular way to travel between Detroit and Chicago, a much more affordable route to travel between these two major metropolitan areas than by plane, and a much more expedient way to travel between these two local areas than by car. But going to be some interruptions as they improve the passenger rails, and you can expect this to be maybe a little bit more frequent in the coming years, at least during the Biden administration, should that administration continue after 2024, as this seems to be a big focal point of the Biden administration, and particularly of Pete Buttigieg, Secretary Buttigieg's Department of Transportation at the U.S. level, focusing on improving passenger rail routes, repairing those routes, and even adding some more frequent travel between these major metropolitan areas, adding what are more affordable travel options for passengers all across the U.S., including right here in the Midwest. Really interesting article from Justin P. Hicks at MLive, posted on our website. A link to that article posted on our website, civiccentertv.com, on our local news page. Finally, making headlines today from Frank Witzel at the Detroit Free Press on our local news page. Gas prices in Michigan continue to be shifty in the early parts of summer with the expected post-memorial price drop now in effect. But how long will this lower price remain in place? The average price currently in the state of Michigan for a gallon of gas fell to $3.53 this week, down from last week at this time where it was about $3.60 or just over. Now the state of Michigan's average price per gallon sits just 2 cents shy of the national average, which is $3.55 per gallon. That's kind of where Michigan has been of late, focusing its pricing actually being right there, very close to the national average, but usually a little bit lower, even as those prices rise and fall. Michigan staying just slightly below the national average price per gallon. The main reason currently that lower prices have gone into effect since last week is lower demand following the big holiday travel weekend that occurred surrounding Memorial Day weekend. But according to the Associated Press, you can expect these lower prices to be pretty short-lived. Cuts in production in Saudi Arabia of oil may cause prices to rise once again very soon, although Jorge Leon from Rystad Energy says these price jumps will make gasoline, quote, marginally more expensive, end close quote, than it currently is. Anytime you're shutting down oil production, especially in a major oil production country such as Saudi Arabia, and we've seen similar effects happen with oil production in China, it may affect global prices as trade is affected along the route between those origin points and our local area, which could lead to lower supply, but still lower demand. But anytime you reduce the supply, that relationship, of course, of supply and demand is going to be affected. You lower the supply, the price may rise. You lower the demand, but keep the supply, the price may drop. That's no more evident than what we saw over Memorial Day weekend as more people were traveling all across the U.S. and in the state of Michigan. So there was a lower supply of gas, even higher demand of gas, and that caused prices to jump all the way through last week, even as a result of the Memorial Day holiday. Now those prices returning back down as the system adjusts following the big holiday travel weekend. With prices now in the state of Michigan, again, the statewide average $3.53 per gallon this week, 2 cents shy of the national average of $3.55 per gallon. In the state of Michigan, the most expensive gas prices in mid-Michigan, in Jackson and in the capital area around Lansing and Jackson, $3.57 in Jackson, the most expensive price in the state of Michigan, tied with up north in Traverse City, $3.57 as well. And even further north in the UP and Marquette, where the current average price per gallon is the national average of $3.55. To find the least expensive gas prices in the state of Michigan, here in the Metro Detroit area, $3.53 is right in the middle of the road, with the only gas cheaper than that being in Lansing and Grand Rapids at $3.52 per gallon respectively, and in mid-Michigan in Flint, $3.48 per gallon. That is the lowest price on average that you'll find in the state of Michigan. So if you're going to be in mid-Michigan this week, a good place to fill up would be in Flint or in the local area there. Also in Lansing, in Grand Rapids, and here in Metro Detroit, where you'll find prices below the national average and lower than most other places, most other major metro areas in the state of Michigan, as gas prices continue to fluctuate throughout our local area and around the country, with demand being a little bit higher than it's been in the past years, of course, and that's certainly affecting these prices. The holidays, the summer travel season, going to continue to affect these prices. Based on those big boom times, I wouldn't expect there to be much major change in gas prices from one week to another until maybe right around the 4th of July holiday. So we should have a few more weeks here where prices maybe continue to drop gradually, like we had seen in May just before Memorial Day, and then probably a short rise or a spike just before the 4th of July holiday weekend, when people once again will take a long weekend, do a lot of traveling across the state of Michigan and around the country. That could bring those oil prices up. But again, currently, the average price per gallon of gasoline here in the state of Michigan, around $3.53 per gallon in the Detroit area. The national average, $3.55 per gallon. And your cheapest gas in Michigan, $3.48 in Flint, $3.52 in Lansing, and $3.52 in Grand Rapids. All of these headlines making news today on our local news page on civiccentertv.com. Just click on the local news link either at the top of our homepage on your computer web browser, or if you're viewing us on most mobile devices like your cell phone or most of your tablets, will also take you to our mobile website. There's a drop-down menu on the left side of the screen. There's a few lines in the top left of the screen. You'll click those. The drop-down menu will come down. You click on local news. That will take you to this page where each and every day we are updating our top stories from across Oakland County. We keep those active on that page all throughout the week. So whether you're watching us on this beautiful Tuesday today, or you're watching back our Monday episode or episodes later on in the week, you'll be able to find every one of these stories making headlines each and every day that we talk about on the show, links to those articles so you can read all of the details that these great journalists across Oakland County and throughout the state of Michigan are putting into telling these stories and providing this information to the public here in Oakland County and across the state. And in addition, you'll find public health links from reputable sources such as the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, and the Oakland County Health Division. Keep up to date on all the health concerns that may arise this summer, especially as we continue to see hot days outside, not a lot of precipitation, ozone action days. Those are becoming more and more of a public health concern. In the last couple of weeks, you'll find information on heat stroke, on what to do on an ozone action day in our local area from our local resources at the Oakland County Health Division, from the statewide resources at the MDHHS, and from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. They also provide updates on a national, state, and local level about other health emergencies or health watches that may pop up over time. We're in the summer season. There's more mosquitoes outside. It almost seems like every summer we hear a little bit at some point about West Nile virus. Though certainly will be some updates there should that become a concern once again this summer. And all those links you can find right in one spot on our local news page on civiccentertv.com. We have a great show ahead on today's edition of the Megacast. Coming up next, we'll talk to an individual from Grace Centers of Hope in Pontiac about volunteer opportunities this summer to help out right here in our local community. Stay tuned. You'll not want to miss that and more coming up today on the Megacast.
Like what you see? Beautiful works of art, masterworks of metal, and accomplishments of artistry will be on display near you. All kinds of artists from all walks of life come together to celebrate their skill and appreciate their work's beauty. Hot Works presents the 2023 Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. Stop by July 29th and 30th between 2 and 10 p.m. between Powers and Daly off of Orchard Lake Road.
Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important.
And now the same is true in the face of flu.
Influenza has the power to infect millions.
But it's easy to protect yourself, your family, and your community.
The flu vaccine is safe and effective. And with COVID-19 still around,
it's essential. Together we can face flu season head on.
Visit michigan.gov/flu.
Stop by West Bloomfield Town Hall June 14th and get your health in check at the 14th Annual Greater West Bloomfield Health and Wellness Fair. Over 40 businesses, organizations, and vendors take the time to showcase healthy practices, tips, and resources for the community. Young or old, there's something for everyone and everybody. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Wednesday, June 14th, the 14th Annual Greater West Bloomfield Health and Wellness Fair. This community update from Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Many people are feeling overwhelmed and struggling with mental wellness these days. So be kind to your mind. Give yourself permission to breathe. Share your feelings. You are not alone. Have hope. Talk to a Stay Well counselor for free confidential help 24/7 through the COVID-19 hotline.
Ronnie started doing prescription pills at the age of 15, and by 19, he died. If your child is struggling with drug use, try not to be too proud to reach out for help. Don't be worried about what the neighbor will think or your family. Just get your child the help they need. Sometimes it's the hard road to take, but the hard road is nothing compared to living with the fact that your child is no longer with you.
There's hope and help at drugfree.org.
Watch Civic Center TV with our brand new live captions. To turn on live captions, go to civiccentertv.com and click Watch Live. In your web browser, click on the Options tab in the top right and find the Accessibilities tab. Then just switch on live captions to heighten your enjoyment of our local programming. Thank you so much for watching Civic Center TV.
When you have a gambling problem, you have a money problem. Don't let your gambling cause you financial hardship. If you or someone you love is struggling with gambling, we can help. Get free confidential counseling and win your life back. Learn more at michigan.gov/problemgambling.
How can you get involved with upcoming elections? West Bloomfield Township wants you to join the ranks as an election inspector. Get trained on using polling equipment, proper procedures for handling ballots, and more to keep the voting process smooth and safe. If you're interested, go to wbtownship.org for more information or call the clerk's office with the number provided on screen. This community update from Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy. And if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
Let's savor these moments. Made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the dining out going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date.
I'm Steve Eiserman of the Detroit Red Wings, and I think every child in Michigan deserves a safe, healthy, and happy childhood. Can we build a state where children trust Michigan isn't just a name, but something our kids believe? Please support Children Trust Michigan as the voice for children and families by visiting the website to learn more.
Hello, nose. My nose knows is when somebody uses the bathroom. Mom, Polly didn't flush. Ooh, I smell cookies. I smell an A+. How could my nose be running when it stays on my face?
Our noses know if those sniffles are just a cold, allergies, or COVID-19. So swab it. Test it. It's good to know.
Welcome back to the Megacast, our live daily TV, radio, and streaming show talking about all things Oakland County and the state of Michigan. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft. You can always join us on our website on civiccentertv.com/Megacast, where you'll find more information on all of our partnering stations across the Great Lakes state, including our co-flagship at My Michigan TV, and local stations right here in Oakland County on community television and community radio with original programming. In the 23 hours of the day, they're not joining us Monday through Friday right here on the Megacast. All of those links, civiccentertv.com/Megacast, where you'll also find us on demand. Full episodes, 1 hour each day of your work week, and individual segments about all different topics of interest and stories from right here in Oakland County. Joining us now on the program are two individuals who are the co-founders of Bags Brigade, one of over 350 charities and nonprofits supported on the Shared Detroit platform. Joining us now are Sharon M. and Gregg Monbleau on today's edition of the Megacast. Thank you both for being with us today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, glad to have you both on to talk about the Bags Brigade. Tell us about your organization, the services that you provide, and a little bit of the history of your nonprofit.
Certainly. So, in a personal side, Sharon and I have been together for 33 years, 3 boys. We've been in the New Baltimore area for, the last 20 years. We founded Bags Brigade back in 2015 as a 501c3. And really, just from a history perspective, we were asked, or we offered to bring some hygiene bags down, or hygiene kits down to Detroit with a group that we know of, C4. Started with 60, and really it hasn't stopped from there. So, we've gone from 60 bags to 800 to 1,000 hygiene kits throughout our last five or 8 years.
We started We started by collecting donations. We just went downtown for a one-off serve, and we met the people down there, and we just noticed that there was such a need for a hygiene ministry. So we just continued, and we collected donations, and we did assembly parties in our home, and it just built from there. And now today, we take monetary donations and we order product direct from the manufacturer. We actually partner with a special needs school that the product gets shipped right to them, and they assemble, and then we distribute the bags out to 16 organizations around the Tri-County area that then give it out to the people that they serve.
And so you mentioned the hygiene bags earlier, but it's not just the hygiene bags that you're providing in the community. You mentioned partnerships with other organizations here in our local area and across this part of the state of Michigan. You're also helping children and seniors too. Tell us about all the different kinds of blessing bags that you're ultimately putting together with your organization.
Well, we have, these are the hygiene bags. That's how the whole thing started. Do you want to hold up? That has the whole everything in it that will give somebody hygiene for a month. So we started off with those, and then we moved on to birthday bags. Which look like here. And did you want to hold it? Yep. We do them for the children that reside in McCrest homeless shelter that are having birthdays. So we do, in the bag is a party for 4 that the parents can throw, or the mother can throw for the child. And it has a really nice birthday gift, that anyone would get on their birthday, that they don't have that opportunity. So we partner with McCrest doing those. And then we have senior bags. We have a designer, a woman that designs these bags so beautifully. And she makes all different messages on them for the senior bags. The birthday bags she personalizes to each child. The senior bags, we do activity. They're for homebound seniors. And we put activity items in there to help them with boredom and depression. Puzzle books and sensory items, and a hygiene bag. Socks, which we partner also with Bombas socks. They give us how many socks?
Yeah, our Bombas relationship is we distribute about 10,000 pairs of socks annually from that partnership. So everything that we do, from the hygiene kits to what we deliver for the seniors and so on and so forth, everything is also inclusive of the Bombas socks.
Yeah. And then the other bags that we have are for foster care kids. And this is what these look like. And they're comfort bags. And we give them to an organization called Impact One and DHS. And they give them out to foster homes. So when children get taken out of their home and they go into a foster home, it's like a welcome bag to ease their anxiety, and it has sensory items. It's got coloring book, journal for the older ones. We have them separated into 4 different kinds, and they're color coordinated. We have younger girls, younger boys, older girls, and older boys. So the younger ones will get a coloring book and crayons. The older ones will get a journal and a pen. They get a hygiene bag too, because a lot of times they don't come with anything. A little stuffed animal. So it's just to ease the anxiety and say, welcome to the home and you're okay, which is our new campaign that we're going to be putting out. It's okay, just breathe. Because with all these issues with homelessness and foster care and all these demographic of people that we serve, we're not a group that's going to solve any of those issues, but we can meet them and show them love and remind them that in this moment, it's okay, just breathe. And here's a little comfort to get through this moment and what you're going through.
Joining us on today's program are Sharon and Gregg Monbleau, the co-founders of Bags Brigade. You can find more information on their organization on sharedetroit.org or going directly to their website at blessingbagsbrigade.com, blessingbagsbrigade.com, and find them as well on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. All of those links at the bottom of their page, blessingbagsbrigade.com. Gregg, Sharon, as you talk about these different bags and expanding into so many different areas and so many different groups of people that may be in need of some of these items, let's talk about the story behind that. How did it go from putting together some of these bags, these hygiene bags at the beginning, to then expanding into all these different groups, and how has that partnership, those partnerships that you've developed in the community, played into providing even more to even different groups of people, as you said, Sharon, in so many different situations?
We started off looking at it when we went downtown as a physical give, for hygiene. And we soon found out that it's a lot more than that. And there's a lot of emotional issues with that. If you're not clean, you have a hard time finding a job, you have a hard time studying in school, and there's just a lot more to it. So when we realized the emotional part, we have been running the hygiene part. And Greg, you can talk about some of the organizations. I mean, it's on a larger scale than obviously what we started. When we started realizing that this is a lot of an emotional issue, we started noticing other areas that we could tap into to help on that emotional level. So just noticing around and finding areas of need, and we just kind of plugged in there.
And a lot of it, when you talk about going from that, 60 bags, we're out there once a month, we were actually feet on the street with these. And I think that's kind of where we caught the bug, right? When you're actually there, you're witnessing the people who are actually receiving the kits that we have, what they're doing with them, and really what the need is. It's a lot of our partnerships have really grown kind of by happenstance or being down there. I mean, you look at, Detroit Rescue Mission or Brilliant Detroit or Zaman, the veterans, a lot of it's word of mouth. They're contacting us, their interest, or we're contacting them. It's one of my favorite sayings that my wife really hated was, we can't say no, right? And so with us not saying no and us giving first, it grew exponentially over the last, 3, 4, 5 years, where we do have those 16 plus partners, right? That we're delivering some form of, I would say, like Sharon says, some form of comfort, to these individuals. And again, I'll bring up Bombas. Bombas was, I saw it online. I'm like, hey, why not? They accepted us the first year that we applied for, and we've grown from, hey, thanks for the 2,500 pairs of socks, to, hey, here comes your 10,000 pairs of socks shipment in January, February, March of this year.
And that's good for Bombas, like you were saying. They like groups like that because we plug into so many others. Because
we distribute. So I mean, we've really gone from a feet on the street to really more of a distribution model. We're a nonprofit 501c that's really supporting other 501c3s with pieces that they're kind of missing in their book of business. So we're really supplementing what they do.
And so just in terms of scale, this operation that began with a couple on the streets seeing people in need of this, that, or the other, and putting together a bag of these physical items, how much has that grown? How many bags per year across these different kinds of bags you're providing are you actually giving out in the community between yourselves and these 16 partners?
So from an annual basis, we're probably close to 12, maybe 13,000 combined bags a year. But you want to talk about scale, each of our hygiene kits, right, they contains probably about, 10 to 15, 20 items, right? And they're little, right? So from a scale perspective, we're looking at, 120, 130, 140,000 different items, right? That we have, groups assemble for us, put in bag, box, and then we distribute those boxes out to the individual locations. So, it's kind of mind-boggling the amount of little items that go into all of this. But right, we've got a great support system that Sharon has built, especially with the special needs community, like Let's School out in Clinton Township, where we're able to get them to help us assemble. Right, they get to learn about hygiene. They get something that's kind of meaningful from their school day. Right, for what they do. And in the end, our partners benefit from that.
Yeah, we actually go into the school once a year when they switch students, and we do a hygiene awareness program with them so they can understand hygiene poverty and personal hygiene, which is a big issue in the special needs community. And we give them a hygiene bag. We explain their role as a brigade member and how they're playing a part in helping others, and they love that. What they're doing is meaningful. So we give them a team shirt, and explain the whole thing. And it's a beautiful thing. I mean, they really take pride and ownership of their work and learning a job skill of the assembling. And they do a beautiful job.
I think it's also important to note that with us delivering the 12 to 13,000 items a year, right? That's really only kind of the tip of the iceberg. If you look at some of the groups that we are supporting, right, we're talking, we're probably doing maybe a third of what their total population is, right? So, it's not, we're not at that high level. We're only a third of the way there from being able to really fully support all of our partners.
Yeah, there's a lot of room for growth. I mean, there's 1,500 Meals on Wheels people that they serve just in Macomb County. We're not even putting a dent in that at this point, Foster kids, there's 1,000 foster kids in Macomb County. So there's a lot of, the ceiling is pretty high, right now. So we also have a hygiene box that we planted in Mount Clemens that people can access hygiene products 24/7. So we stock that box and the public can come in and stock. We stock the top with our bags and the public comes in. In the winter, they'll put gloves and scarves and hats. In the summertime, we do, year round, we do feminine products, toilet paper, Bomba socks, so people can, and it's been doing really well. People are taking what they need, and it's doing great.
These are some amazing efforts, and Gregg, you mentioned it earlier that being in the action, seeing is really believing with this sort of work, seeing how it impacts these individuals, how they're just the reactions and the way that they're able to use this, and how just these little things that we take for granted each and every day have such a big impact on those that these bags are ultimately going to. And Sharon, you alluded to something very similar when you were talking about your work with these partnering organizations as well. So if people want to get involved, how can they get involved with Blessing Bags Brigade and help do all this great work that you two are doing in our community?
Well, you can visit our website, and you mentioned www.blessingbags.com. There's a ways to help link. And for all these essential bags that we do outside of the hygiene bags, we have an Amazon registry. So we put items in for the bags that people can purchase. It gets shipped to us. And then we have a church that we partner with too that assembles for us. There, you can obviously give a monetary donation. What else do we have on there? Monetary donation. You can stock the box. And we also have you can fill out an info card if you want to sponsor a box. You can have a plaque put on the box, your name on a plaque on the box, and because we're going to plan on planting more and more boxes. But if you're welcome to, I have all the information on the box. You can go and put things into the box if you want. You can order off the Amazon registry. You can give a financial donation.
And if somebody wants to help immediately, we are actually have our first fundraiser of the year on June 17th. It's called the Bunko Bash fundraiser. We're looking to get 100 plus people to come into Rock Church with us and play a little bunco, have a little fun, eat some food, win some money. The information's on our website. All are welcome. It's a $20 donation to get in and get started and kind of get moving forward from there.
Yeah, right there on their homepage, blessingbagsbrigade.com. The event, it's Bunko Time, is happening June 17th. That's a week from Saturday, noon to 3 p.m., $20 for entry. Get your pizza, pop, snacks. You can get into a raffle, a 50-50 raffle, a bake sale, and it's all happening at Rock Church, 6135 County Line in Fairhaven, Michigan, 48023. Again, blessingbagsbrigade.com, or you can also get more information on this event, ways you can help, and items you can provide to help Blessing Bags Brigade do all the great work they're doing in our local area on sharedetroit.org. Sharon and Gregg, thank you both so much for joining us today.
And thanks for having me. And really, I want to make sure we thank Share Detroit for making this introduction and helping us out here. So thank you. And thank you for your time.
Appreciate both of you joining us this morning and for your time as well. BlessingBagsBrigade.com is their website. You can find them and 350 plus other charities all across the local area on sharedetroit.org. We'll take a break on the Megacast on the other side. Plenty of more opportunities for you to volunteer right here in our local area this summer, including here in Oakland County and Pontiac with Grace Centers of Hope. We'll have more information on that coming up next. You're watching and listening to the Megacast.
Let's relish these moments, made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the festivals going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer. Because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be like happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
Welcome back to the Megacast, our live daily TV, radio, and streaming show talking about all things Oakland County and the state of Michigan. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft. You can always stay up to date with us and our partnering stations here in Oakland County and throughout the state of Michigan on civiccentertv.com/Megacast. Find all of our programs on demand, including each individual segment, so you can watch us 1 hour at a time during our 5 days per week live and on demand, or individual segments of interest to you and stories of interest to you on our Megacast page, civiccentertv.com/Megacast, where you'll also find links to where we're broadcasting live and live to tape and other great original programming right here in Oakland County, all about Oakland County from our partnering stations, civiccentertv.com/Megacast. Joining us now on the program is Jager Carmos, the Donor Relations Coordinator at Grace Centers of Hope, as this Pontiac nonprofit will be cleaning downtown Pontiac neighborhoods by landscaping, painting, doing trash removal, and other beautification efforts all throughout the next several days here in Oakland County. Jager, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you, Tyler, for having me. It's a pleasure.
Glad to have you on, Jager, as we're talking about these volunteer opportunities. They're happening all throughout the rest of this week, beginning on Wednesday and running all the way through Saturday for these cleanup efforts in Pontiac. Tell us about these efforts and how this got started, and then a little bit about how people can get involved too.
Oh, of course. Well, I took over as the volunteer coordinator about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and we were coming up on 80 years that Grace Centers of Hope has been here in downtown Pontiac. And during the course of the time, we have came up with thousands and thousands of supporters and volunteers that come and believe in our vision and believe in our mission and what we do, which is taking people who are struggling unwanted, whether they're struggling with addiction or homelessness, whatever the case or scenario is, and we want to change them or help change them from the inside out so they never, ever have to be in a place like that again. And one of the ideas I had was to utilize our volunteers in a different way. And instead of just helping out here at Grace Centers of Hope, help out our community where we, live and where all of our residents live. And one way that we can do that is by not just picking up, Grace Centers of Hope, but picking up the whole entire street and the whole entire neighborhood. And last year, it started off 3 days. We had about 150 volunteers come out in the course of that time. And it was a huge success. We didn't expect to have that many people and that much media coverage come out. So this year we're hoping for another successful year, but more importantly, we're hoping that more people get involved and come out and start picking up the streets. And we are a Christian facility, and one of the things that God says or prophesies is that old people will be sitting in the streets watching young kids play. And that's kind of the goal, is to have Pontiac be a place where kids can actually play in the streets and feel safe.
And it also goes back to just the overall mission of Grace Centers of Hope. It's helping these individuals that have been going through a struggle in their life, whether it be with substance abuse or misuse or other issues, and helping them recover. And part of that is building that sense of community. So how does something like this help not only your organization, but the individuals that you're helping build that sense of community in this place they're recovering in Pontiac?
Well, it inspires hope, Tyler. One of the coolest stories I ever heard is a resident came to me one time and asked, who are these people? Who are these people coming here and helping out in the kitchens or at the daycare? And I was like, well, they're volunteers. And I remember talking to this individual, and they ended up telling me months and months later, they said, Jager, I've seen this volunteer come in once a week for a whole entire year. And in my past life, I never would have thought of donating my free time to going and doing something like that. But what that did for me is it planted a seed where one day I want to be able to be in a position where I can go and donate my free time, because my free time in my past, I was just looking for the next fix, or I was looking for the next scheme, or I was looking for the next thing that I could do to help me get my next high. And instead, just one single volunteer that didn't even know that this resident was watching them inspired this man to put himself in a position to be able to help out other people. So it goes to inspiring hope and also creating this community, like you said, where people see people helping people. And that's our vision here, is people helping people, not handouts, not, giving stuff away for free, but people coming alongside other people and helping them out.
You can find more information on this effort called Picking Up Pontiac on Grace Centers of Hope's website, gracecentersofhope.org, gracecentersofhope.org. You can also find them on various social media as well. And you can get involved June 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. That is Wednesday through Saturday, 4 straight days of volunteer activities helping to clean up and beautify a wonderful city like Pontiac right here in our local area. Volunteer shifts 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on each and every one of these days. And so, Jager, if people are interested, how can they get involved? How can they sign up to be part of this volunteer effort for one or even all 4 of these upcoming days?
Well, the easiest way is just to go to our website, gracecentersofhope.org. And when you visit our website, a pop-up's going to come up, and it's going to say, Picking Up Pontiac. And you can't miss it. And all you have to do is click the link, and it'll take you right to the sign-up sheet. And if you have trouble with technology or using the computer, you can honestly just show up. We'll be meeting at 210 North Perry at 9 a.m. on every single day, and we'll have waivers for you to fill out and sign-up sheets. So all you have to do is show up.
You can also get more information via telephone by calling Grace Centers of Hope 1-855-HELP-GCH, 1-855-HELP-GCH. And again, the website, gracecentersofhope.org. And you'll find more information if you click on their events and go to the Picking Up Pontiac event. There's also a link there to sign up for this event over the next 4 days. And so what are some of the activities? It's going to be a kind of a different effort each and every day from the 7th all the way through the final day on the 10th. So what are some of the different activities that people may have, some resources that they can provide, or they want to engage in a certain activity during this beautification effort?
Well, we're going to be going from street to street in downtown Pontiac. So, for example, Wednesday, we're going to be hitting Moreland and Stevens Court. Thursday, we will be hitting Perry Street. And then Friday, we'll hit a different street, as well as Saturday. And each street, we're going to be focusing on hitting every single house and mulching, weeding, tearing up old flower beds, putting new flower beds down. If you want to get involved by donating material, we need shovels, we need rakes, we need tools. And also flowers. That's a great thing. Anything that's low maintenance and perennials that come back every single year, so it doesn't take much to take care of them. So hostas are a great example, or hydrangeas. And really what we're looking to do is just have as many people come out as possible, so that way we can show the city of Pontiac that, hey, we're doing our best to pick the streets up.
More information, again, can be found on gracecentersofhope.org. The event is Picking Up Pontiac, begins on Wednesday, June 7th, and runs all the way through Saturday, June 10th, all across the heart of the downtown area of Pontiac. gracecentersofhope.org, the place to go to sign up to volunteer, or you can call them 1-855-HELP-GCH for more information. And Jager, this is not the only volunteer opportunity or the only way that people can help Grace Centers of Hope at this time by volunteering their time or other materials to the organization. If people want to get involved but they can't over these next 4 days, what are some other ways that they can help Grace Centers of Hope right now?
Oh, there's many of ways. So we own a career and education center where people, not just our residents, but the public can come and get their GED, obtain it. And we need tutors. So if you're, proficient in math or science or language arts, we need tutors to help our community be able to obtain their GED and pass those tests. Also, we have a men's and women's kitchen where you can come and help prepare meals or even donate food. Let's say you wanted to buy a meal for the residents. You can come and utilize our kitchen to actually cook it here as well. And then we also have a daycare. Our kids, they need good role models, and they love meeting new people that come and play with them and teach them new things, whether it's reading them a book or teaching them how to ride a bike. It's a great experience to watch volunteers come and then pour love and affection onto our children. And besides that, we also look for events. One example is this gentleman I know out in Sterling Heights. He owns his own gym. And what he's doing is he's going to completely, take a day off from customers coming and using his gym, and he's going to do a field day for our kids instead of obstacle courses. So the kids get to do a little field trip, go there, hang out, learn about health and exercise, and also have a good time. And that's just one example. Events can look like anything, and we're open to ideas. And it would be awesome to have more support from people who want to get involved.
Well, Jager, we appreciate your time joining us to talk about Picking Up Pontiac. And, of course, you can find more information on gracecentersofhope.org. Jager, thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Tyler.
The event is June 7th through the 10th in the downtown area of Pontiac through Grace Centers of Hope. Visit their website at gracecentersofhope.org for more information and to sign up for Picking Up Pontiac. That is going to do it for today's edition of the Megacast. Big thank you to each and every one of our guests, Sharon and Gregg Monbleau, as well as Jager Carmos, for being on today's program. You can find us on demand, civiccentertv.com/megacast, as well as information on more of our partnering stations, including those right in your hometown, right here in Oakland County. Until next time, I'm Tyler Kieft. Take care of each other, and we'll see you very soon.